Heresy Act 3 Week 2, basically a conclusion to this episode. A seasonal challenge for completing this week says Act 3 Part 2, so assuming there's a Part 3, but a big chunk of the final conclusion story events I'm assuming go down today. Savathûn attempts to steal the Echo of Oryx. The Guardian and Sloane finally craft Willbreaker, Oryx's sword, in its full potential. Eris has a plan for the Echo of Oryx, but it goes completely wrong, forcing the Guardian to do something in the end. We encounter enemies and forces of both sisters, and the resonant knife taken subjugator finally meets its end. Welcome Guardians, let's discuss the events of this week's story. So as I said, the triumph for completing this, or the seasonal challenge, says Act 3 Part 2. So I'm assuming there's going to be a Part 3, but a lot of story events, the conclusion of the big threads, happens today. Maybe next week Part 3 is a teaser of what's going to happen next, whatever is going on with this taken god. But we first start speaking to the Echo of Navigation in Eris's throne world. It tells us that Savathûn is trying to steal him and bring him to her throne instead. And when he realizes that it's been changed and it's now a light throne, he goes kinda mad. He wants the Guardian to go in there and stop Savathûn from doing all of this.
Savathûn has made her play. I feel the threads of her power. She would tear me from this prison and bind me to her throne world. The heretic queen, Eris Morn, tells me that Savathûn's throne is a garden filled with light. That's not how I remember it. My sister's high coven was a place of sharp knives and subterfuge. No longer. She acts in earnest, and so she acts predictably. She's betrayed her nature. Remind her that her starving worm would have eaten her alive. Go to her throne, disrupt the words of her binding and the strength of her brood. To be bound to that place would take me from one jailer to another. I would need time to break my sister's snares. But soon, I will break the hand that wields you.
The Guardian ventures into Savathûn's throne world to the Temple of the Navigator, Oryx's temple that Savathûn built. Savathûn is trying to conduct a similar ritual Eris did to bind the Oryx to her throne instead. Oryx says, "I don't want to trade one warden for another. Please stop this ritual."
The Witch Queen reaches into my throne and seeks to excise the echo from it. Make haste and infiltrate her court.
My sister's spellcraft will choke this nascent cyst if you do not intervene. She wishes to free me, not only from you, but from this world. She believes we are prisoners to a game of lies, but I will not trade one warden for another.
Savathûn's brood conducts a similar ritual to the one we use to bind Oryx.
She summons me through the discovery of poison progeny to an altar in my image.
The Temple of the Navigator. Savathûn formed that place to honor her brother who fell. You have your heading, Guardian. We do not have much time. There is a tear in the fabric of reality. Open it and move yourself closer to our goal. Hurry. The Witch Queen's claws are taking hold.
Yes. Embrace my power. Those nights, they were not taken by this Oryx, but within them I sense my will. Challenge them and die.
Along the way, we encounter different Taken enemies using our Taken powers, and we find the disciple of Malak. Malak is Savathûn's son and was an enemy in the first game we tried to take Oryx's power after he died, his position. I'm not sure if this specifically is Malak returned. I believe it is, as we actually take his head and Savathûn tells us this.
Guardian, my My binding is being tested. You must move quickly. Someone died to break the ritual. Now, Guardian, hurry! It is done. Oryx's presence is contained, secure once more. It appears the progeny he spoke of was no other than Malak. It has been some time since that name was spoken. Recover it, so that we may learn its secrets.
Savathûn gets really mad that we take her son's head and sends all of their forces in the throne world at the Guardian. The ritual is stopped though. Savathûn does not bind Oryx to her throne. Our next step is completing the Willbreaker sword entirely.
Tisk, tisk. You're always meddling in other people's affairs. Normally I admire that type of gumption. It's why we get along. But stealing my son's head? This is below you. This time, you've crossed a line.
This time,
I warned you. I even tried to do this the nice way and leave your brand new throne intact. No more of that. Enjoy every hive in the vicinity descending on you. I hope you have an escape.
a nephew of Oryx, son to Savathûn. He was partially taken. Perhaps we can procure a panacea for Sloane from this. Malak was one of the only taken to retain their will. They were a unique being, now reduced to an, albeit powerful, artifact.
In a mission on the Dreadnought, we defend Sloane as the Willbreaker is crafted.
Sloane is waiting for you, Guardian. Though we have the hilt, we still lack a shard. And so none but a taken hand will serve to reforge Willbreaker. And she is not completely taken. She will need your help. Our help.
Right, no point in waiting around. Let's just get this done with. Wipe out anything with a living will in there that isn't you. The Deep made me an offer once, and it hasn't forgotten. Something's still reaching out, but I'm the one in control here. There is a knife for me. It is shaped like bulwark against despair. No.
The brittle steel breaks. Breathe deep. Hold gently. Guardian! Destroy the Taken!
A new shape. I refuse. Don't have to take an offer just because someone makes it. I have this. Be right with you, Guardian. Willbreaker, complete again. Look at it. Your power, our will. That core is our knife, no one else's. We should head back to Eris, show her what we've made. Back in the last city, Eris and Sloane speak about the Willbreaker and the plan.
You have done well. Taken Essentia courses within you, guided by your open hand and your unwavering fist. To rule the Taken energies as sovereign teaches you to better understand their sway and pulse.
And knowing how the Taken power fights your grasp helps you work with it when you have to. Like Eris says, communion. Just one problem left. And he's a big one.
Yes. Savathûn and Xivu Arath no longer bring their rituals to bear. They descend to fighting amongst themselves. My conflict with him is made equal. And so the Echo will soon test me in earnest. He will not be able to resist.
If I had to bet on someone in that fight, it'd be Eris Morn and her high heresy.
I appreciate that. But as things stand, I cannot separate Oryx from his power as an Echo. Thus, we are at an impasse. I may hold him, but I cannot win.
Willbreaker is complete. The wielder only needs mastery of the Taken King's power. Our Guardian has that. We could destroy the Echo right now. For good.
And we would lose much. Means to remove the Taken threat entirely. Forever.
Eris.
Time. Allow me time. Just a little longer. Just because we may destroy it does not mean we must immediately.
All right. But the second it gets out of hand...
I know. I will finish it.
So you can see Eris is still hesitant. These two have been battling it with this issue since this episode started. Sloane's like, okay, we have Willbreaker, we can just destroy the Echo now and finish this. But Eris wants to keep the Echo around at least for a little bit. We might be able to completely wipe out the Taken, and who knows what we could learn. Things might get out of hand though, and that's when Sloane steps in. So here's where things get interesting. I thought this would have been the end of this week's story, and what you're about to see would be the conclusion next week, but it turns out it's not, unless Bungie accidentally released everything early. In her throne, Eris Morn speaks about the plan. The Dread look to make Oryx's high war theirs. Savathûn and Xivu are still in the picture, still kind of an issue. Eris Morn tells us she has a plan.
The Dread congregate to make Oryx's high war theirs. Xivu Arath and Savathûn prowl in the wings, waiting for opportunity. The Echo, even now, struggles for freedom. This will never end so long as the Echo exists. And I have no desire to spend my life a jailer. Go. Defeat the Dread. Preserve their tools. I have a plan.
Eris wants to claim the Dread power, whatever this means, in order to strike Oryx from the Echo, I guess separate them. In a mission, we encounter our allies, drifters on the field. We fight the Resonant Knife, Savathûn, forces of Xivu Arath, all to stop the Echo of Oryx. Eris wanted to conduct her own plan, but in the end she sees it's not enough, and the Guardian has to use Willbreaker to destroy the Echo of Oryx. Here's all the events from this mission and then we'll discuss.
If I can claim the Dread's power, it may be enough to strike Oryx from the Echo. Go!
I promised I would test you.
You will not triumph. I am your prison.
Everyone's here to throw a party, huh? Got wind the leader of this bunch of Dread is around here too. Good. I'm not about to get in your way, hero. I can tell you've got murder on the mind. If you beat me to that son of a worm, you fire a couple extra shots for me. Got it? Keep moving.
There! The Resident Knife approaches at Oryx's bidding. You must...
Eris! Hey, Guardian! Shoot fast, you hear?
throne. You must pursue him, Guardian.
A whole squirm of Zevu's hive broke through behind you. Keep going. I got him. I'm just saying, don't slow down, hero. Do you know how many hive a squirm is? It's a lot. Wouldn't say no.
I am the Night-Edged Hunger! I am
I am the Waiter. Death Charter. First among navigators. And I am Prey!
He flees across the entirety of the Dreadnought. These movements have purpose. Does he seek the helm to steer back to Fundament at last? I will not let him.
Looks like you're hanging in there. Glad to see it. We're past the point of being careful. Make sure the risks you do take are worth it. Strike first, strike hardest. And see the fight through, Guardian.
Oryx has stopped. But I have not yet seized hold of him. Catch up to him, Guardian, but remain wary. There is very little for him to gain by staying.
We are finished, Guardian. All slates wiped clean. No more old time's sake. You and I, we are not friends. Universe preserved. Witness dead. All that you begged me for, I have given. And it's still not enough for you, is it? All I asked was for you to stay away from my family matters. A simple request.
I sense you there, Eris Morn. Heretic Queen. Will you chain me again?
I can hold you long enough. I reach through my weapon even now.
I do not yield. But I have nowhere left to go. Have you counted the stars, Guardian Knife? Have you understood the spaces between them? I vowed once to understand, and I have not, and I do not. Every vow I have made is empty. I have already failed. As my sisters have become heretics, so too have I. Long ago, Oryx was killed. If I am still Oryx, then I am already dead. And if I am not Oryx, then I do not live. Ayat. That is enough.
Within my grasp. I was so close. So close. And yet, you were right. We cannot take this risk any longer.
The stars will remember the shape I gave them.
His foundations were lies, and he was a traitor even to himself. And yet, the edges of this plane are ragged where he stood. A monster. A piteous fool. A brother. Ayat.
So this mission really just pulls everything together, all the enemies and allies we've encountered throughout Heresy all together. Oryx speaks about the heresies of his sisters, himself for letting them live long ago. In the end here on the Dreadnought, the Echo has no place to go. In Eris's apartment, we interact with the worm in the tank. At first I thought, hey, this may be a Savathûn's worm, but I thought that was in the exotic. Either way, Savathûn is really mad. We killed her projections in that mission, thwarted her attempt to bind the Echo to her throne. And we know she still has that big goal of escaping this game, as she and Oryx have claimed.
My brother. My brother. Dead. May all that you desire ever be stolen from your grasp. And if the cold and unfeeling universe does not see to it, then I certainly will. Goodbye, Traveler's Pet. Don't wait up.
But Guardians, there you have a recap of this week's story. There are 2 new lore entries which I'm going to discuss in tomorrow's video. Let me know how you feel about the story of episode Heresy in the comments down below. I believe we have one more week next week with part 3, but I guess we'll see. So far out of the 3 episodes, Heresy of course is my favorite. But anyway, Guardians, if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.